Okay, so this week I'm going to make a mini project series, and the project is about making a to-do list. I mean, it's quite simple, and the logic is very clear. So it's like a to-do list. Here you can add items. Here, let's fix the item one, right? Then choose the item status. Okay, so finish and submit. You see we added the item here. We also can remove the items from the list, like here. It lost it. Also, we can update the list data, item data here. Click the update here. For example, I'll add a 2. Change the status to finished. Then you see when I change it here, it also change as well. So I update it. Then you see once I hit the update change here. Also we can it display all our item list here. It's a project demo display. I know it sounds very simple. It's at the very beginning for advanced coder, but I feel if I will go through the coding snippets line by line. Also start with the principle behind that, so this one can help those coding learning beginner easy to understand it, and it can be successful during their coding learning journey. So the logic is here. Basically, the logic here is all about arrays handling. Our key file is here, right? It contains a form. This one's for adding the item. Also, we have the remove button here. Also, update section is here, right? So we will take it as an array question here. For example, we have an array here, right? So what we're going to do is how we can add the item into this array. So it becomes a array handling question now. Normally we use a push to add new items to the array here. For example, I already write a code here. So let's uncomment it. So it will be like this array to-do list push add a new item here, right? So let's run this. Add a new one here. You see, once I run this, I already add this one here. So we are going to array the push to push item at the end of this original array, right? This one is for the adding a to-do item into the to-do list form. For the remove, we are going to use the splice. Let's see. What does splice mean? Let's search it online here. Splice basically means it will splice means that it will start with a element in the array, right? First choose the start point, then how many elements it will be removed from this list. It's a second parameter. It's quite easy to understand here. For example, like so WCC has a really good example describe this splice feature work. here we have a array called fruits, include banana, orange, apple, mango, kiwi, right? So here we use fruits that splice means the array that splice. It will mean start from the array index 2, 0, 1, 2, right? So we'll start apple, then how many elements will be removed? 2 elements will be removed. So that means the apple and the mango will be removed. So the output should be the banana, orange, and the kiwi, right? Let's run the test. Yeah, you see here. So we left the banana, orange, kiwi. That's logic. So go back to our remove feature here. We are going to use. We are going to write the code now. So it will be to do list the splice. We remove one item only, not many items. So it will start from the its index first, right? Its index so no. Which one we choose? For example, we remove the first one, so it will be 0 and 1, right? To-do list, the splice. To-do list. Here has a typo, so let's run the code again. You see, we just remove the first item here. We have another way to remove the item as well. It's called a filter. Filter basically means you give some function to check its if it meets some conditions, then it will remove the access item, or then remove this item which not meet this condition. The print the items in the array which meet the requirement, such as here. So we built a to-do list filter. The item means item ID not equal 3. So obviously not equal to 3 is 1 or 2, right? So it will print the one items ID equal to 1 and 2, this array, right? Let's test it. Not equal to 3. Second item ID. So test it again. Okay. Yeah, start. 1, 2. Yeah, here. So this is it will. Let me close this one here. So it will just print the item, the ID 1 and 2, right? It's another way to remove an item from the array. So third feature we are going to do is update arrays elements data. Here we are going to do the map feature. Basically integrate the array, or integrate the array, then choose then find the item that find the item the ID equal to find the then we'll give it the if else check condition here as well. So we will return the final so we'll use map feature. First use if and else condition to find the item first. For example, if we want to update the item the ID equal to 1, this object's data, right? Maybe update its name or status. Then we first need to locate this item first. This process could be done through the map, this feature, like we put a if and else condition, like item the ID equal to one, right? With this one, we locate this item first. Then to update this object's property, first we need to copy the data first. Copy the item's property first. Then we find out it's one of its property name called name. Then put the item here. Put the item's value here. So it will update the property of the object. Then finally, we'll return this items out. So here, then we'll test it if the property value is changed. So let's run it to try. So here. So you see, we changed the item the ID, its name to update the property of the object. So this, then final one will be display our data. So console.log our original array is here. So this is the logic behind our to-do list the feature. So next step is we are going to head to the our VS Code editor, then start to write the code to finish this simple to-do list application. We come to the implementing this to-do list application now. Right now, I just set up a pure view application start file. So we can run the this file to see what's the original look like. npm run serve. Okay, it's running. It takes a little bit of time. Let me open a new file, new browser. Normally it loads for 5 to 6 seconds. Then it will give us a result. First step, we need to go to after view. Okay. Normally after view handles the copy this one, then go to the whole UI views. So management. The component will be behind as well. It's because this project only contains one page, so I'm not going to make it like a view or pages and a component structure. If you have many pages and a few routers, then you might need to separate it as a view and a page. There's a folder structure. So first step, we need to remove this one. It's an image. It means this big logo here, right? We don't need this one right now. So looks the rest of the content is from the hello world, this component file. We could change it to to-do list for easy to identity later. To-do list the view, so it's normal, right? We go to our, let me see, so here, change it here as well. Export section, it's a to-do list. To-do list, then come here, it's imported. To-do list. To-do list. Change it here as well. to-do list. Once you change them out, or save all the file changed. Okay. So it is where is the reason to-do list is not defined but never used. Oh, I see. We need to register here as well. To-do list. Okay, let me see. So here's the component to-do list components data. So this is the process how to add a new component to the view parents component here, right? So first step, you need to build a to-do list component here. So then you need to export it here. Then once you want to use that component, then you need to go to parents component here. Need to import this component first, then register here. Then finally you can use it in the UI section here. So here we are going to pass the to-do list original array from the parents view parents component to children component, child component to-do list. So it's a MS. So we need to have our data first, right? Data here, data. Data will be like here, right? Data array 10. It's array. We already built this one before. We can use it directly here. Here, let's copy this data here. So this is our data here, right? This is our data section. To say if we have this data, we can create the life cycle component here. So come here, create D. So it will be like here. Created, it will be console the log to-do list. Let's see. Normally it's this, the to-do list. So let's see. Invalid property initiate. Oh, here array. Here we our data should not use equal. We need to use this one. Let's see. But looks like, let's see our console. If you are writing the API, Express API, normally server's console will be printed here, but for the front end, you need to go to the Chrome browser and choose its inspect, and then go to the console section. Okay, so here, obviously we load the to the console. Here we have a 3 element array as 3 elements. So first one is our ID, next is name or status. So we load our data successfully in our front end at first, but we will not use this data in the after view we will take it as a props, send it, pass it to our to-do list component. So we'll write all our logic and the UI section to the to-do list. To do that, we need to here build a props name. It will be we'll say list equal to-do list. Remember, do not make a name, a prop name and the props value same, even though they are just maybe uppercase or lowercase different, because the view will make a misunderstanding. Like before this project started, I made a mistakes. Like I choose a to-do list, maybe uppercase. I pass it to the to-do list here, but unfortunately, the original array data didn't pass the component, so I didn't figure out why. But then later I changed it to different name. That's problem fixed. Once we write here, we need to either send the data to the children component here. So here we need to receive it. To receive it, here we build up props here. So here it would be what do we say? So it's a list, right? Its name called a list. List will be array right here. MSG we already remove it. So to test if we receive the props data from the parent component, we'll choose a similar way as well. Here we build a created, created, right? So it's a function here. So here give it comma. So there's the list here. To say the difference, we have to comma the created function here. Okay, where is it? Let me here. We need to comma it first. Let's format our code so the whole file can look neat. So we'll save all the changes as well. See, okay, can I create tab or this list is not a function? Create, let's go to here. Created, oh I see, we need to use not a function here, so we need console the log. So a console.log. This should work now. Let's format it. Okay, let's refresh our page here so we can see the result. Yes, you see, we received the data from the parent component after view. But here we have a error here, so it should be MSG. We go here. Did we pass the, oh, I say I probably know here because we remove the MSG in the after view, so and we didn't pass MSG data to the to-do list here, so we need to remove it. So now all our logic will be in to-do list section. So I'll close the after view and remove the unnecessary UI code here. I just remove them all. So here will be to-do list. Let's make a class to-do list. So here we go. So here we give it a name. H1 got the to-do list application. Okay, let's see the result. You see, so this is our start. So the first step we need to do is we need to load our data come out. We receive the data from the receive the array data from the app view. So in order to render it, we use for loop. For loop, it will be like we'll call it here as load the array data. Right, so in order to use this feature, we need to create a list. So list here will be v4 equal item in list. We also need to give a key equal to, we give it as an index, maybe item in, okay, looks like something we post it here for a second. Here we could use v4 item in list, means we receive the data from the app view, and the key will be item ID. It need to be unique. So you can refer to this this explanation, v4 explanation in view documentation. It's about list rendering. It's a similar logic like us, so it will for loop the array or loop the data. So let's say first thing we'll need to render its name here, right? So it will be item the ID. For we need to random the item the name to test. Next thing we need to random is its status. We'll give it a span. Maybe put it. Next we'll render the item with the status. The status. If you want to render the data value from the props or data, you need to give the two curly brace. So let's see. Okay, so we see we render the data here. See data. We are going to make this screen smaller, so you can directly see the changes. Okay, so here. Okay. I'm going to give it maybe okay, so we just render say items from the array. It's first you say it's the item the name, it's the item status, and it's the item name, it's item status. Okay, maybe I should give it a bit of space here. Give 2 space. Okay, you see now it looks much nicer. So we just loaded our data from the array, from the data, right, props. So next step we are going to do is to add an item to this to-do list. So it will be add an item to the to-do list. So you remember that I showed you earlier. In order to do that, we need to have a form, right? With the form here, you can add the item's name, also the its a status selection as well, and this means a button. And yeah, so we start to build our form here. Should be below. So I have made some copy. the item form. So I go form thing here. First of all, I need to give it a name called it should be h2 text. So you add item. So first thing we need to give its name, give a label. It's the item that name. So label item. I need to call it name. Item name. Item name. Below will give an input. Here you can input. You can input the item's name, text. Yes, great. And give the last one. So input. I will also add a placeholder here. Maybe give some placeholder called input the name of the item. So in here we need to think about something, because something data updating here. So the original input data should be empty, but remember when we input something here, maybe like a JSON or something here, right? Then we need to make the data change here. In Vue, normally to update the data, we use a vgum model. So it will choose maybe we'll give set it as a name. Also we give it to split the window. Here's for UI part, here's for JavaScript part. So it's easy to switch between them. So it's called a data here. Okay, 1 second. Data. Remember here, I need to have this one. Also give this one semicolon. Okay. Return. Maybe the name to test. I'll give it a simple name as item 1. See, once I add here it just say item, but we'll just put the item empty now first. Okay, so next one will be our status selection, right? We'll use the option here, and with this one we could choose a view documentation here. So maybe I should open this tab in front of you. If you have something you are not sure how to write, then you can always go to the view documentation to check to reference. Okay, list option. Normally if you hit the search button here, I just switch my view documentation to latest one. So it's such a feature is quite useful. You could simply just here put the list select option, CLECT, option. So here you can select one. So select one, then hit to the section we want. So here we will use a second. CLECT select select option. We'll use here. We'll use this one. You see, when I click here, it has a drop down here. So it has select also the models, bigger model as well. So we just copy this one here, right? Maybe this one. We'll make the screen a bit wider. Selected that we didn't have this model here, so we need to go to the data section to define one. So it's called a CELE selected. We'll get its value, default value as empty as well. So we'll hit it to the UI part. So everything, options, please select one. Yes. So we only have two options. First one is in progress. In progress, PROGRESS. Next one we'll have as a finished. So let's say let's clean our format a document. Okay, refresh it. Here, right? So you see we have a select one. So we need to add one more button here as well. Right now it's okay. Let's refresh it. We already have our select option here as well, but we need. You see, once we choose it here, but maybe the UI has a bit of problem here, so I need to maybe just turn off this one, make it wider. Now we come to its UI. It's at item UI. Here's item name. Here's its item list item status here for its drop down section. We also defines its initial property data value is the name is 0 and selected is 0, but don't forget we also need to put a submit button here. So once we click the submit button, then this data will initial data value will be updated with the value you inputted or selected. So let's put the UI below first. Okay, button. Button will say that's update the add the item. Add the item. We'll give it click event. It could be add click equal to add item here, right? Add item. So we'll create our method here. THDS. For this one, it's easy for you to understand the views methods. View view message is a place where you can put all your JavaScript function. Means it's let's go here. Okay, let's put our message here. What's the message here? So yeah, so it's add item, right? The item. Add item. For this item, first we need to console the log its data. So here will be console the log. For example, this their name, yeah. Model is name. First system name. Second console the log. It's this the status TATUS. So here, let's go into give a console here. Get its console here. Right, first clean this. So we'll put the item 2. Choose a selection as a finish. At you see, so second one, this the statute. Oh, it's a selected. SELECTED. So here it's let's choose it again. So to-do list 50. First up, let's clean this left circle, so later we can see the change. Okay, here item 2, choose the finisher. Don't worry, here's UI wrong position here. Once we close this console, then it will back to normal. So we just testing need to see the result in console. So here, so you see, we print the value here, right? Also here it changed. Right now we need to push this object into this array. Remember when we started our video, we are going to use the array pushes this element into the end of this array, right? So first of all, we need to create this object. So it will be const item it will be object, right? Object. It will be name, this name, and status status, this selected. To test the result, we can simply console it to test. Console.log item, right? Okay, this one. Okay, first of all, also clean this item 2, choose the select it finished. Let's hit this button. So you see it's a object here, right? It's an object. Now we need to use a push method to push this item to the array, so it will be like list the push list the push item. Okay, we here need to add this the list the push. Okay, item 1, then choose a finished. We click this one. You see, so we just add the item here, right? Item is push the list, also render in the front UI. So let's so add the item feature, we finished. Next step we are going to do is to remove the item list. The UI would be will place a remove button in here. Every list item will have a remove button and the update button here. So once you click the remove button, this item list will be lost in this list, right? Also, when you update it, it will pop up a form where you can update the data. So first, let's add its UI first. So obviously, we need to go to the in every here. So we need to give here. So what we need to do is give two buttons. First button is remove. We'll give it a remove. First one is a remove. Second one is update. So also here, once you click it, it will trigger the action. So click event at the click equal. Let's say it's remove. Right here we're going. Here we are going to use a splice here, splice method. So here you need to give its element as an index. So we go to our method function here. So it will be remove here. Then so first of all, we need to have this array, right? We have to get this array list. So first we need to just list the splice splice index, then remove one item after this index. So let's save it. Index is not defined. Oh, sorry, we need to receive it here as well. Index. Okay, so now you see every item has a UI remove button and update button. So let's first remove first one to test. You see, method index is not defined on the instance, but the reference during the make sure this property is reactive. But we can see we remove. Yeah, but we remove it here, right? Remove it from list. Second list as well. Okay. Property is either index. So here we can give an index like something like an index started from the maybe 0. Okay, this one. Then we try this again. Yeah, let's refresh it. yeah. Now remove feature works pretty good. So next step we are going to come here, update. So you can update the item list value. So first step, we need to trigger a event. Like you click the update, it will pop up a form, right? Once you click the update again, the form will hide. Okay, so here we'll first write our event listener. Okay, CK equal update maybe update here. So we are going to here as update update. It is same. We need to give it the index value here. Index. So it will be. We need to give a initial value. Like we need to hide the update form first. So it will be show. It's a boolean. So false. Right. So once you click this one, then we'll change its value to the star show, then equal to show, right? This one with this one you click it twice, then its value changed again, right? So we don't need to give an index right now. We can simply remove this one here. Okay. So for the update form, we are going to put here update form. It's almost similar like this one, so I'm not going to write all from the scratch. I'll simply build a new div, so it would be class equal class update, maybe put here update, then copy the type of UI, come here, let me format the document. So here I will change it a little bit, so it will be update item. So item name here. But those data, once you click that one, it will load those data to here automatically, right? So first, let's just see the UI first, then later we'll come back to implement it. Okay, show is not defined. Let me see, 92, lost the show. Show is not defined. Okay, so now I just know why show is not defined. That's the show. I need to add this show as well, because show, if I don't add this show, it will show error is not defined. But so I also put the control shows UI control here. We control unless the shows value is true, then this value will this update form will display, right? Like here, it hide. I click again, it update, right? So next step, we need to load this data into the form when we click the update first. So remember how can we get the value first? So it's about first of all we need to get this. So first we need to access the erase item data, like this one data, then we can load it here. remember how we can access the items data from an array? We can simply put the array, then put its index, then get the value, right? For example, here we need to give its index. First of all, we need to have its index. Then here also receive the index. So index. So our this the list, it's a list, right? Also put here index. So it will be item data. For example, it's item data equal to this. We need to get a default value, that's the data. So here will be item data. It will give empty value first here. So let's console.log the value first. Console.log this the item data. Okay, let's click this one, update. You see, so we just received the first one. ID is this one, and right. Let's on set alarm clock. They also have the in progress. It's indexed 1, right? Index 1. Also have in progress. Like next one, we'll see. We also have its indexed 1. It set alarm clock. Next one, we click this one again. Okay, here's something wrong here. Maybe the index is not correct here. Index. So I just fix a small bug here. In order to use the index, we have to define index in the vegan for loop here. It's item index in list. Key will be item the ID, or you can choose the index as well, right? It also work. So once we put the index in the list here, then we can simply use the index in the remove also also update the section here, right? So I click this one, so I receive the data here. See here I receive the first item data, then second same as well. See, it's 2, right? Third one as well. It's the same, right? It's the same. So now we receive the data, so it will be this data. So we are going to put this value into here, into the updated form. It will be model, it will be vegan model as well. So let's go here, item the name. So vegan model, it here will be item data the name. We will see. You see this project name. So here it will be item data the status TA. Yes, right. Here this data will change as well. It will be item data the status. Yes, it's wrong as. So here, let's see. Looks like we have a small box here. This says project status, item data. Let's become and the model status TAT is status here. ECT. I'll put it here right now. Refresh it. this the item the data index item data. It will be an object first. Let's see. But inside let me refresh it again. Can I property the status status? Can I read the data? Okay, let's first. Oh, here we have a typo here. ITM. Here it's the same as well. We'll put this one here. Item data the status placeholder. Here we are going to not use this one because below we have this value. So let's okay. So now it's the problem is the error is gone. So we click this one. You see we got the first one, right? First one it's set alarm clock in display. So we also have this value here, but looks like our item data, the status does not show here. So what is the problem? So it probably the item the data. I'll give it this one. You know what I will do? What I will do is for this data, I will simply for this selected simply I'll here give it a value, so it will be here the selected cell bar. Here we are going to change its data here. This the selected equal this the item the status status. Okay. Format the code. Okay, here and seems like selected does not update its data here as well. This item data the status. Let me see. TATUS still selected. So go back to first step. We need to load the item list, the original data first. Here, right? So the first day we needed to so we can load it here. So let's click one of them. So if we click this one, you see we loaded like a shower. Also, it's in progress. So come here, we just use its data item, the data status. It's as a vegan model, like if I finished the here it will change. So take a shower tool here at item status will change as well. We also have an updated item, means we are going to trigger the update item this event. So here I need to put it as an update item. So here we add one more feature, update item. Here update item. So here what we are going to do is we are going to use remember what we do to what we had a conversation earlier about with our feature. We need to, first of all, we use a map to look for this item. Map, look for this item. Once we get this item, so let's go back to our original logic explain here. So as we remember, the earlier we need to use a map. First, locate this item, right? Find this item. Then we are going to use first copy the items data, then update one of them. This is what we are going to do right now. So it's update the item. Also, we also need to update the. Here we don't need the index. Index. Yeah, we still need the index. So index. The index. Index. So it will be first this the list, the map. Map is a function inside, so we call here. So it will be, so we need to give we need to first locate the item is a list first. Use if or else. So if here when you use item, so if item the ID equal index, right? If they are same, then we are going to do a process. Return. First, we need to have all the elements in the object. Item. Second, so we are going to make this change. What is this change? Change is here. Give it changed. There will be an object. First name would be this is the item with the name. Also status. Status is a status. Okay. So here would be changed. NGD. Right. So it's our data. So let's see what will be look like. So for example here, right, I'm going to change this one, then I'm going to it's in progress here. It's okay, I'll change it to finished. So I hit update. So take a shower to also it's finished here. We saw it's changed, right? But remember, once we hit the update item, it will hide the form first. So we come here. So we need to this the show they equal to false as well, right? This the that's the show. That's the show to boolean. Oh, this is the show. Return also here. I need a blue. Maybe here. Those are data. So this is the show. here. Let's see. Okay, it hide it. So let's say our final code look like. Let's refresh this one. So it just load our original data first. Okay, let me expand and then click this one. So it's our final to-do list that will be look like. We loaded our original to-do list data here, right? Also, we can remove the to-do list item. We can also add an item like item test 2. We also can select the option, then add it. No, bam, hit on the to-do list first. To-do list items. Now we can also update its item like here, which is 3. Then here should finished. Right, also hit this one, so we'll also add the item test 3. Guess also it's finished. So that's all for our tutorial now. Thank you for your watching, and if you think this video helped you a lot, please subscribe to my channel. That's all for now. Thank you. Have a good day.